on the first page? If everybody would like to take a seat, we'll get the meeting started in just a moment.
Are you ready? Good evening. This is April 27th, 2023 Board of Adjustment meeting called to order. At this time, I'd like to have a roll call.
Board Member Babcock?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Baker?
Here.
Chairperson Keller?
Here.
Board Member Duval?
Here.
Board Member Huddleston?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 1 on the agenda tonight will be for the approval of minutes from the May 27th, 2021 Board of Adjustments meeting. I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the May 27th meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Call for a vote, please.
Board Member Babcock?
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Baker?
Yes.
Chairperson Keller?
Yes.
Board Member Duval?
Yes.
Board Member Huddleston?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5 yea, motion carried.
Thank you. Item number 2 tonight is the election of chairperson and vice chairperson. Request nominations for each separately, and we would call a vote for each person. I will now entertain a motion for the chairperson.
Is the pay the same as it always been?
It's gone up 10%.
I nominate Mr. Keller for chairman, please.
Do we have a nomination for the position of chairperson? I make a nomination for Mr. Baker. Do I have
So
a second?
just to clarify, are we doing a motion for the chairperson or the vice chairperson?
Chairperson.
Okay, and
We have that. Okay, I was
we have-
doing both of them at the same time.
okay.
So you want to do them separately, so,
If we could, please.
okay. Then can we have a vote for the chairperson, please?
Yes. Board Member Babcock?
Keller.
Okay. Board Member Baker?
Keller.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
Who is up for vote here? I heard a motion for Mr. Baker.
That was for,
Was that for chairman or?
that was vice chairman.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Thank you.
confused.
I just needed to clarify that. Please continue.
Okay, so we're doing the roll call vote for Mr. Keller for chairperson. So moving on to Mr. Keller.
Yes.
Board Member Duval
Keller.
and Board Member Huddleston.
Yes.
We have 5 votes for Chairperson Keller. Motion carried.
Okay, at this time, we'll take a nomination for position of vice chairperson.
I nominate Baker.
I'll second.
Would we like a roll call vote?
I would take a roll call.
Okay. Board Member Babcock?
Yes.
Board Member Baker?
Yes.
Chairperson Keller?
Yes.
Board Member Duval?
Yes.
Board Member Huddleston?
Yes.
Okay, we have five votes yay. Motion carried.
Item number 3 for tonight. Is my understanding this is going to be delayed to a later date?
Yes.
Okay.
So item number 3, Mr. Chairperson, this was a request for a variance from Branson Municipal Code, Section 94102I, pertaining to fencing for the property located at 915 Cliff Drive, Branson, Missouri. At this time, the applicant has not paid all of the fees, so we are unable to proceed as planned. I will now defer to the attorney to explain the options to the board.
Hi, my name is Holly Dodge, and because the fees have not been paid, we have tried to work with the applicant to get that done today, but he was unable to get that. So on behalf of staff, we would ask for a continuance. We're just trying to preserve what money has been paid. So if we could get a date certain and continue it, then we wouldn't have to expend monies again and increase the fees for notices.
So I guess we want to go ahead and proceed with item number 5.
I think we still have to have a continuance for 3 if the chairperson wants to, if Mr. Chair wants to call for any motions in regards to a continuance.
1 minute, please. Okay. If we're going to have a discussion, we'll ask you to come to the podium and state your name and address at that time. So just a minute, please. We're going to follow this in order. Director Closley, do you have any additional comments from city staff?
Good evening, Chairperson, members of the board, members of the audience. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Mark Calusi. This will actually be the first one of these meetings you'll be seeing me. I'm the new planning director for the city of Branson. And one thing I did want to add is that we have a great legal team that works with the city, which Holly certainly is a representative of, who you just heard from. We had an opportunity to work with the legal team and start looking at how we potentially could look at these variance requests. Since you did have a variance request for potential consideration this evening, we had an opportunity to start thinking through what are some things that we can do with regards to process, what are things that we can do to make things maybe a little bit cleaner, smoother, more efficient, et cetera. One thing that the city and city staff has taken wholeheartedly is the red tape reduction initiative. So one thing we would like to potentially do is make things a lot easier to do within the city. So with that said, we looked at, for example, in this circumstance, an area variance analysis and how there's 2 different kinds essentially of variances that can be considered. So one thing that was provided to you prior to the meeting was a list of different questions that potentially could be asked to see if a variance should or could be issued in any given particular circumstance. So one thing you would have the ability to look at in front of you is some of those questions that could be considered, which would be similar to the 4 questions that were asked as part of the application packages, the 4 questions that were screened as the applicant was required to fill out prior to us scheduling this meeting. So with that said, legal has made an opportunity to potentially schedule a training with us in the future. So one thing I would like the board to potentially consider is that if we would have a continuance, you move forward with that, or any future meeting that would be scheduled, we could get that on a future agenda. So I just wanted to provide that as an opportunity to look at between now and the next meeting. And that way, we can make things a lot more smooth and efficient and consistent, and I think is a key word, as we move forward into the future. So that would be the only other item that I would like to add under this particular item, since we do not have representation by the applicant for this particular variance request. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Well, since this is a little bit unusual, the way this is coming down, the board here is going to withdraw the application or continue the item for the May 25th, 2023 Board of Adjustments meeting in regards to the requested variance from the Branson Municipal Code 94-102I pertaining to fencing. since we're not having a hearing, this wasn't be the time for us to take comments from neighbors or any other city people. And when the motion does come back up and we do actually have an item on the agenda, at that time, anybody wishing to speak would be allowed to speak at that meeting. So tonight, the board here is going to make a decision to withdraw or continue, and the board will vote on that, and that'll be all we'll discuss tonight on this. Since we're not actually having a meeting on this, I'm going to defer that to the attorney.
I don't think whoever's speaking is at a microphone.
No, do you want her to come to the podium? Or are we going to allow questions from citizens on this tonight?
You have to, Mr. Chairman, you have to be careful because that could be,
You just went on mute.
sorry, and it would, if you have any testimony today, that would be part of the hearing. And so because the hearing can't be held because it requires fees to be paid first, the hearing does not start. And so we don't even get to the point of the public testimony. It would be best to see if somebody wants to make a motion to continue pursuant to the request of staff, or to, you could find that the absence of the applicant is a withdrawal of his application.
Thank you.
I would note monies have been paid, which paid for the notices for the hearing tonight.
Thank you. No. At this time, we're going to take a vote on whether to withdraw the application or continue the item from the May 25th meeting.
I'll make a motion to withdraw the application.
A second, please.
Second.
Mr. Chair, just for clarification, so the motion, so that I make sure we have a good record, the motion is to find that the application has been withdrawn due to the absence of the applicant. Is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct. That is my intent, with
I
my
appreciate
motion,
that.
is to withdraw the application since the applicant did not show up for the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
So approved. Could we take a vote for that, please?
So this is a vote to withdraw the application for a variance from Branson Municipal Code, Section 94102I, pertaining to fencing for the property located at 915 Cliff Drive in Branson. Board Member Babcock?
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Baker?
Aye.
Chairperson Keller?
Yes.
Board Member Duval?
Aye.
Board Member Huddleston?
Yes.
Okay, the result of the vote is 5 yeas, motion carried.
That concludes the item scheduled for the Board of Adjustment meeting. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Call for a vote, please.
Board Member Babcock?
Aye.
Vice Chairperson Baker?
Aye.
Chairperson Keller?
Yes.
Board Member Duval?
Aye.
Board Member Huddleston?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5 yea, 0 nay, motion carried, and meeting adjourned at 7:15 p.m.
The meeting of the Board of Adjustments is adjourned. Thank you.